Hello and welcome. Today we'll have a look at the Peugeot e208, and here it is, a nice grey color. It's the electric version. You can tell it by the little E that is right here, and obviously you have a charge port rather than the way of fueling up your tank. This is what the car looks like from the outside. So with all the PSA products, now Stelantis, we have a 50 kilowatt hour battery, 100 kilowatts of charging speed, and an engine that is 136 brake horsepower, which is acceptable for this kind of car, but it is not very quick. So you would want a little bit more power for an electric car, but it will be plenty for most situations. Going inside, what you need to have in mind is this piece right here, because every once in a while when you want to jump inside, you may get a little bit hurt because your knee will touch this specific part. The overall environment is nice and sleek. You have different materials, but all of them feel quite nice. The instrument cluster is very specific to Peugeot, and in this case for the Peugeot 208 you have a very small steering wheel, and you have the instrument cluster that you will see above the steering wheel. So it's a sort of a head-up display in a different format, because it's not on the screen, so it's a specific it's not on the windshield, but it's a specific screen. It's just that it is very high compared to other cars. If we start it up, the screen itself has what they call a 3D view. So basically you have two layers of screen and you have this sensation of 3D, which is a nice effect. It is very pleasant to look at. You have a lot of information, maybe too much information. You can change the type of screen that you're getting. The screen is not very fast, so it's not very smooth. Yet you have different setups that you can choose from. As you can see, you have personal setups that you can pre-select, or you have some dedicated screens that are from the factory. In terms of storage compartments, so you can recharge your phone right here. You can put the phone in this position here, so quite convenient. The gear lever is nice and sleek. Overall, it is convenient. You have a glove compartment, quite big, not massive, but more than acceptable. And the door panels with green stitching, with some faux leather and some plastic. Overall, everything is nice to touch for those who care. You get a panoramic roof. It will not open, but you get extra light, which is great. In the back, you do not have a lot of space. I'm sitting behind myself. My knees are touching the front seat and my head is also touching the ceiling. I'm 1.80 meters. This is what the panel looks like. it looks very pleasing, but the car doesn't feel bigger, so it's a small car, and in the inside it feels like a small car. You can tell it is a small car. You have two USB ports here in the back. You can lock the seats for the child's for the child safety, for the children's safety. Very nice looking back lamps, as well as in the front with this very specific Peugeot signature. As you can tell, LED lamps on this version. You do get cheaper versions without these LED lamps. You have the radar that is right here. It has some ADAS, Advanced Driver's Assistance equipment, so it will keep you inside the lane. It will warn you if there is a car in front of you braking, this kind of thing. So no advanced self-driving features, yet it is helpful and it is quite convenient to have these driving aids. This is what the roof looks like. So it is black, and this part is a window that will allow you to have this panoramic roof. I really like the proportions from the outside. It's a small car, yet because of these arches that are in black and slightly larger, it has a very mean look to it. It has a heat pump, so the car is on. Being electric, you could not hear anything except for the heat pump, which is now heating the interior. Coming back to the interior, you have heated front seats with sensitive buttons. They do not work always, so sometimes you need to press twice and make sure that the command has been taken into account. You have two USBs, a USB Type-C here and a Type-A here. And the buttons themselves, so you have the AC button, well, you can see all the indications on them. They look aesthetically they look very nice. 12 volts here. So the turning lights are not within the same screen as the main information. You need to get used to it, but once you got used to it, it is very easy to read, quite convenient, nothing to say about it. In terms of range, so it has, as I was saying, 50 kilowatt hours of battery, which equals to approximately 250 kilometers of range in real life without highway driving. If you jump on the highway, then this will be significantly less, especially in the colder weathers. If you drive only around the city, you can get closer to 300 kilometers, but do not expect to get more than that. Okay, we'll fasten the seat belt and we'll go for a ride. This car is a front drive. You have different driving modes that you can select from here. So if I switch to Eco, it will be less responsive, it will be more efficient theoretically. You can go back to normal, or you can switch to Sport. Let's leave it in Sport. It is quite responsive, which is great. The only thing that is a little bit annoying is that if you touch just a little bit the accelerator, you really feel this on-off power. So this on-off acceleration, which is not as smooth as you would want it to be. Other than that, the car drives very well. It is very precise in the different corners. Peugeot has always been known to be able to have very good chases, which is also the case with this Peugeot e208. Again, having the very low center of gravity, it has an excellent handling. Now, another thing that you need to have in mind is that if you stop somewhere and you do not engage the parking brake, so I have turned it off, and you let the car running, so the car is on, and you open the driver's seat, this is the type of noise, of warning message, with a noise that will warn you that the car is still on, which I guess is a great feature, yet the noise itself is very loud and very annoying. So we will engage the parking, and I'll show you around the car itself. And let's open the trunk. The trunk is not massive. This is a small city car. It is bigger than some of the competition within the segment, but overall it's within the average of the segment. You have a driving mode and a B mode. You'll have much more regeneration for the battery in B mode, so while you're braking or when you're coasting, so the car will regenerate some of that energy and store it in the battery. And the indication of battery regeneration is displayed here on the screen. So if I brake, you can see that I have the charge indication that will increase, and if I accelerate, I go into eco or power territory. So the average consumption that I got out of this Peugeot 208 electric is 18 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. This was normal city driving and a little bit of highway, not that much. So it is okay without being exceptional. So what do I think about this Peugeot e208? Well, I think it's a great little car. The looks are great. The outside looks very well proportioned. The front looks nice and mean. The back side looks great as well. Overall, they did an excellent job on the outside. The inside is very well built as well. Feels quite small. Being an electric car, you would expect to get more space, but this car is based on the same platform as its internal combustion engine cousins, because you do get an electric version, but as well as a diesel and a petrol version of the 208. And with this kind of platforms, unfortunately, you cannot do miracles. Driving it is quite fun. You have acceleration that is decent without being wow, yet it is more than enough for most people, so you would not complain about it. You have this power delivery that is a little bit annoying if you're just touching the accelerator, so you need to have this in mind, but that's the way it is. I think that you would forget it after that, but it is there. Other than that, it gets 100 kilowatts of recharging speed, which is quite good for this segment. So that is quite nice. And the price point is on the higher side, yet you do not get a lot of competition yet within this price range. So I think they will do okay. I think the Renault Zoe, it is a very good competitor. It's starting to age. It got a major facelift recently, so it is a much more attractive product than it used to be in the past, so it is a direct competitor. The looks are very different, so the Peugeot is much more sporty looking, so that is nice. The Zoe is a dedicated platform for an EV, so you get some advantages out of that. Other than that, I think that it's great to see the French OEMs taking this topic seriously and electrifying their model range, and I hope that they will continue to improve on it, but at this stage it's already quite a good product. Thank you, do not forget to subscribe, and see you next time.